It was September the 21st, 1958. A fragile cry echoed in a small hospital room, breaking the hush of the dawn. That sound was me, arriving into this world 2.5 months too soon. I weighed just 3 pounds, 2 ounces, so tiny that my father could cradle my entire body in the palm of his hand. The doctors placed me inside a glass incubator, a clear box that became both my cradle and my cage. For the first month of my life, machines breathed me. The steady hiss, click of oxygen became my lullaby. The only human touch I knew came through the cold press of rubber gloves reaching in through the sides. My mother couldn't hold me. She could only stand behind the glass, watching, praying, whispering the same desperate words through her tears. Please, please, let her live. Every day she prayed, somehow, through wires, oxygen, and silence, love found its way through the glass. Because even then, before I could breathe on my own, love was already breathing for me. That moment, that miracle, became the quiet beginning of a lifelong journey. I'm Carolyn Cooper, and that fragile baby grew into a woman on a mission to understand how love truly works, how it heals, expands, and transforms every life it touches. For decades, I've guided entrepreneurs and heart-driven leaders to live and lead above the line, to choose expansion over contraction, truth over fear, and courage over perfection. Because love isn't only an emotion, it's a frequency. And courage is what tunes us into it. Today, I invite you to join me on a short inner journey, because maybe the door that's been blocking your next level of freedom was never meant to stop you. What if that door is an invitation? And what if the key to that door has been in your hand all along? When I was a little girl, my mother was brilliant, creative, and beautifully complex. But behind her smile lived battles I couldn't see, storms that carried her away from us again and again and again. She lived with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. And as a child, I didn't understand what that meant. I only knew that the woman who sang lullabies could sometimes vanish into silence. And it was never her fault. I remember the first time she was taken away, the stillness that settled over the kitchen table, her chair empty. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that love could ache and heal at the same time. That pain became my why. Because when you've watched someone you love slowly drift from the world, you begin to understand how sacred the mind and the heart truly are. It taught me compassion. It taught me grace. And it made me promise that one day I would understand how the mind heals, how fear imprisons us, and how love, and love alone, makes freedom possible. Ask yourself, Where in your life are you still trying to fix something through fear instead of freeing it through love? There's a moment in every life when grace sends you a guide, someone who shows up just when your soul is ready to remember who you are. And for me, that person was Emma. I was in my late teens. She was in her 80s. And every single time I saw her, I felt wrapped in this presence of being seen, of being heard, and complete safety. One afternoon, she reached into her bag and handed me a small golden key, just like the one I hold today. She said, "Carolyn, the key to living your dreams is to think above the line." What she meant was simple, but completely life-changing. So there's a line that divides every thought and action we take. Above the line lives trust, freedom, creativity, faith, and love. Below the line sits fear, doubt, blame, and resentment. The line is the line of choice. Concepts change nothing until they're felt. So let's turn this from a story into an experience. Take a deep breath with me. Now picture the door in your life that represents fear. Might be a conversation you're avoiding, a dream you're afraid to chase, or a truth that you've been waiting to live. Now imagine holding this key, the key of courage. Place it into the lock. Turn it slowly. As the door opens, what do you see? What colors and light do you meet? What sound does freedom make when it arrives? That moment, that image, is your soul reminding you of your true home. Now open your eyes. Feel courage moving through you and ask yourself, what would my relationship look like if I led with love instead of fear? What would unfold if I trusted what's on the other side of that door? Each time you choose above the line, you strengthen that mental muscle. Every time you act through courage, you expand love's presence in your life. That right there is the daily practice of freedom. Now, I'd love us to close with a declaration, a collective invitation to courage. If you can, stand with me, your feet on the ground, hip width apart. Your hand over your heart, and let's say this together. I'm ready, and what's calling me forward is love. Okay. I'm ready, and what's calling me forward is love. And one last time, together, with conviction. I'm ready, and what's calling me forward is love. Once I could only be touched through gloves Today I stand before you, able to touch life with open hands and an open heart. That is the power of courage and the promise of love. So as you step back into your world after today, remember this: the key is courage. The door is already before you. Turn it and let love lead you home.
Stop the recording.